My name's Peter Unwin, I'm 37 years old and I'm involved in Mass Theatre's production of The Pillowman, which will be on at the Key Theatre Studio on the 29th, 30th and 31st of March and the 1st of April, and that's 7:45 every time. Yeah. Well, the synopsis on the back of the flyer says a writer in a totalitarian state is interrogated about the gruesome content of his short stories and their similarities to a number of child murders that are happening in his town.
Pillowman essentially is set in a kind of dystopian future, in a how do they put it? In a dictatorship, if you like, an authoritarian dictatorship, where you've got kind of police that have various powers. Quite apt, really, I guess, with the way the world is right now. It's quite interesting. But it's a story. It's hard to kind of summarise in a sentence. But I guess it's a story about two brothers and their relationship. It's a story about some crimes that happen. Some pretty sick, twisted. It's a dark play. It's very dark, and there's some dark things that go on. And I guess it's a did he, didn't he kind of situation. I'm playing Michael in The Pillowman, who is the older brother of Katurian. He was basically abused all throughout his childhood, where Katurian was nurtured. And yeah, it's a hard one really, because I don't want to give away too much, but I guess Michael's a character that can be taken more than one way, I think, if he's played correctly. So I think it will kind of be up to the people watching as to where he's at, as to whether he's innocent and just a bit childlike, or as to whether there's something slightly more menacing there.
Thanks. I'm Becky and I'm playing one of the dancers in The Pillowman by Mask.
I'm Johnny, I'm the other dancer, and we are playing the parents in two different kind of guises. The parents of Katurian and also the good parents of a child, and then the not so...
It's three different guises.
Oh yeah, three! The step parents as well. So
we're all the characters.
Yeah, basically, for every small character that Helen didn't want to cast, we basically just became them.
Yeah. So
cheap casting as well.
Within The Pillowman, Katurian narrates two stories that he has written. He's a writer in the world of the play, and he narrates two stories, and we dance is a loose term.
I think more physical theatre. We are physicalising kind of what is happening around it, but rather than it being pure abstract kind of contemporary dance, it's more about, I suppose, looking at kind of our character relationship to Katurian and kind of how we are distanced and separated from him, maybe emotionally.
Yeah.
And then for the other parents, it's more about
more about acting out the story.
It's telling the story in a non-direct, slightly abstract, trying not to be overly literal way.
You sound really intriguing. I want to go and see this play.
Also, it's very funny. It shouldn't be funny, you know. It really shouldn't be funny, but there's so much to laugh at. You laugh in spite of yourself, really, because you suddenly, you know, it's one of them ones where you think back to what you've just laughed at and have a little. There's probably a pang of guilt there, but it's just really well written. And again, if performed well, which obviously it will be, it should really deliver on the thoughtfulness, on the darkness, but also on the comedy. It's good for all of that.
Ooh, okay. People should come and see The Pillowman because it is, and I include us in this, an amazing cast. No, it's beautiful. Helen's cast it really, really well. There's some really beautiful performances. It's a really different piece to anything that Mask have tried to tackle in the last few years, I think. It's not a laugh a minute. There are some funny bits in it, but it's very, very dark. It's very still and it's very challenging, and I think you'll go on a really brilliant journey as an audience member through it, and there's going to be these moments of just bizarre colour and movement when we come on, of like, what on earth is going on here? but I think it would be something really special and quite eye-opening.
I think what's nice for an audience, you know, from speaking as being a dancer who's toured intensively to going to see other pieces, that actually if you only ever go and see things that make you comfortable in life, you never learn and you never grow. And something that I always try and make sure the kids realise in school, that actually you have to be pushed out of your comfort zone as an audience member, not just as a performer, otherwise you become stale as performers, and as an audience member you never get challenged in what your thoughts are on the world. And that is what performing arts and visual arts are about. It's about reflection on the world. It's about thinking of what my view on the world is and seeing something so dark as this. And as you say, the journey that the audience will go on from seeing this character who feels lost and betrayed to being this character who suddenly finds a sense of kind of despair and ultimate grief, to then kind of realisation of kind of choices and the dilemma that he has, and actually kind of just seeing that and being, I think, kind of shaken from our own comfortable little bubbles that we're in England, and seeing actually that there's so much more to the world and so much more that we can be aware of as humans and humanity, that this is a show that I think will make people have that response, not just going, oh, glorious, they're on point and doing high kicks again.
I think you should use that reason and not mine.